Hello, Brittany here. Things I do to save the world. Following up with my worms. First video was how to create a system so your worms can migrate from one bin to the next. I was a little bit worried that it wasn't going to work, but it worked. So you can come see here. These are worms that are migrating from the bottom bin to the top bin, and you can actually tell they are very, they're skinny. I can tell that they haven't eaten in a little bit. Like this is to me like a skinny worm. You can tell that they're kind of hungry, and they also have this like, they look more sluggish and white. Look, they're trying to escape right now. But anyway, so that worked, which is awesome. So I'm going to make sure I don't hurt them. Oh, here's a perfect example. This one right here. They just look like stringy when they're hungry. And like you can kind of see through them more. They're you can tell they're not as healthy. They're hungry. This is the actual castings. Castings is like a fancy word for poop or manure. Which is the good stuff. It's stuff we're trying to make here. So I'm gonna put these worms in here, just throwing them in there. But I'm so excited because I didn't think this was gonna work. So you can buy a system like the one I've made, but they're like $100, and really you're just paying $100 for plastic totes, which I don't know where you live, but where I live, I find these all the time. Out on the curb, people throw them away. So top bin, I'm gonna put it to the side because, oh, gotta make sure I don't want to kill any worms. Oh, there's one under here. Okay, just one. So they could smell that I was putting the food in on the top. Okay, so they'll be happy there. All right. So recently I added some cedar chips in here. Going back to the idea of green and brown material, you want to just as much green, like veggies, stuff like this, as you do brown stuff, which is stuff like this. You can use cardboard, newspaper, wood chips, sawdust, grass clippings that are dried out, anything like that. So you could see here, you'll know your worm bin is missing something or something's off when you see a lot of the castings on the edges or the sides, because what they're doing is they're like traveling around, like this one right there. That one's like, get me out, I'm hungry. So we can just put them in there. So I'm not gonna put food into this bottom one. What I am gonna do is just kind of check the consistency. Some people, ooh, what's that? Some things, they're kind of down to like slim pickings. This might be like a potato, or like they go through greens in like, I swear it's like 2 hours. But like the things like avocado pits or eggshells, like this is an avocado pit. Those things take a little bit longer to break down. But what I'm looking for is just the consistency. I don't want it to be too wet or too dry. Like you never want it to be like when you pick it up, like you could like wring it out. Like that's just way too wet. Because I want them to be okay in here while they try to migrate. And you can see there's a lot of worms in here. I mean, you can get into a lot with the science behind it as far as the pH balances and blah, 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 acidity level. I really don't know anything about that. I just know the difference, or I just know that there has to be a balance between the green compost, the brown compost, and then water. I really don't add water to this, my bins, but if it's like dry, they need water. But the most important thing is like keeping it, oh yeah, my dog got into like the toilet paper, so that's what happened here. But I just want to make sure that they are okay in this bin. So you can put whatever in here. I'm looking into getting a cardboard shredder because that would be sweet. Also a paper shredder that does cardboard. Looking on Facebook. If you don't shop on Facebook, you're missing out. Because apparently there are new R's now. So instead of reduce, reuse, recycle, it's repair, or I'm sorry, no. Refuse plastics, refuse things that are like just get going, getting new stuff. Refuse, reuse, and repair. So it's the idea of like, if it's not broken, you know, don't get something new. Which is why my whole life I've driven beater cars. Because there's no sense in getting something new. Where was I going with that? So down here, this is very spongy. It's not good. Do you see? I feel like I could like, I'm not going to, but you could wring it out and you don't want to do that. So that's why I'm putting paper, brown material in there. All right, so that's that. Have fun with your wormies. Bye.